Okay, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in this crazy world. My name is Jim Frankel. I am the founder and director of Music First. Welcome to our fourth training webinar of the week. We'll be doing one tomorrow as well. Just quickly, for those of you, if this is your first webinar, I'll just do a really quick overview of what Music First is, and then we're going to get into today's topic, which is utilizing the content that's on our platform. So we're going to focus almost exclusively on content. Yeah, there we go. Content is what we're talking about today. How to make stuff for your kids is probably your number one question. How do I get my kids up and running and consuming and learning? Music First is a comprehensive learning management system for K-12 music education. One important caveat, if you are an elementary teacher, we do have a product called Music First Junior. Unfortunately, that is not free. It is something you can sign up for a demo account and we'll give you free access to, but it's not, unfortunately, available for unlimited students at the moment. So this is focusing mostly on upper elementary through high school. Just from a compatibility standpoint, you can rest easy knowing that as long as your students can get to the internet, which I know is in some places a very big assumption, but as long as they can get to the internet, Music First Classroom works on every single type of device: Mac, PC, Android, iOS, Chromebook, tablets. The only important thing to remember, please, is that the students must use the Chrome browser to be able to have a successful experience with Music First Classroom. If they are using an iPhone or an iPad, they must download the free Music First Student app. I had this question yesterday. If you received your login credentials, and let's say that you received them for demo2.musicfirstclassroom.com, when the students first launch the Music First Student app, it's going to ask them for that prefix to Music First Classroom. So if you got Demo 2 or Demo 1 or Demo 3, just tell them to put Demo 1, Demo 2, or Demo 3 in that little box and they'll be good to go. That question came up yesterday. We do have a ton of software available. I've gone over that extensively over the last 2 days, so I'm going to skip the software today. I might dip in with one or two of them, but for the most part, I'm going to be focusing on the content library today. We'll skip this as well and go right in. I'm not 100% sure if my other members of my staff are here. So I will do my very best to pause every once in a while to see if I can answer any of your questions. But this webinar is being recorded and I will post a recording of that webinar later this morning. So going into the classroom, the Music First classroom, right? So I'm logging in. I'm going to log in as myself. That probably would be helpful. Once I am in the classroom, you probably will see the classes that you requested get set up for you. So in this case, I had a class set up for me called Training Class. I'm going in there. Once you're in that classroom and you see this red bar here that says Training Class, this is where you can create content for your specific class. And I'm going to go over a couple of different pieces of content. We're going to look at courses first. Then we're going to look at all the assessments that are available. Then we're going to look at creating your own content from scratch. And excuse my cough. It is a stress cough, so please don't think that I'm coughing into the microphone and COVID-19 will come through. I'm perfectly fine, so don't worry about me. Anyway, the content library in Music First Classroom lives here in this tab called Content. If you click on that, you get a number of different libraries. So just quickly, the Music First Content Library is everything that we provide for you. My School Library is anything that you create that you share with other teachers. Because if you are in a free extended demo, you're not going to be using this tab and you're not going to be using the My District Library tab. The one tab you may use is the My Content tab. And that's where you're going to find anything that you have created during the extended period of time. One important caveat, it's not the greatest news, but it comes with getting free stuff, is that at the end of this period of closure, anything that you do create, unfortunately, will be deleted. So just bear that in mind, and there is no real way to get it out. So if your school has emergency funding, you can buy a 6-month subscription, and you will not lose anything that you create, and you have the option of renewing it. Just want to make sure that that's clear, because I have a feeling when we shut off the site, when this whole dreaded thing is over, some people, hey, where do my lessons go? Where do my tasks go? The free extended demo will eventually shut down, and you will lose the stuff that you've created. Anyway, so I'm going to go into the MusicFirst library today. And as I've shown briefly on other webinars, there are 6 major buckets of content: band, chorus, and orchestra. So for our performance ensembles, we've got the majority of the ensembles covered. We've got a music theory bucket, general music bucket, and then we've got these things called MusicFirst assessments. These are primarily set up for Texas, using the TEKS there. There are hundreds and hundreds of those pre-made assessments. Some of them might be useful, some of them might be totally not. What I'm going to do this morning is focus on the general music to start. I'm going to click on it. Once I'm in this bucket, if you will, or category of content, I just want to show you how to navigate through it. On the right-hand side, we separate everything by grade level. So let's say you're a middle school general music teacher. There are 721 pieces of content for middle school general music on this in this library. That's quite a bit. Then underneath that are the type of contents that we have. So courses, which is what I'm going to focus on first this morning, we have 5 of them. Those are complete curricula. And it could be that that is what you do with your kids. That's it. You just say, I'm going to use this stuff. All right. There are 102 units of study, 556 lessons, and 146 assessments just for this general music bucket. And then we have them divided by 10 different topics of study. So a lot of critiques in here, a lot of performance stuff, creation, composition. So there are ways to navigate through the content. But I'm going to focus on courses. I'll click on that. So here are the courses that are available in our general music offering. By the way, there are courses available for band, chorus, orchestra, and music theory as well. So I'm going to look at the introduction of popular music just to show you what this looks like. This course was created by a fabulous teacher named Shauna Longo. If you want to see what the syllabus is, you can just click on it and it'll bring up a really beautiful PDF with an overview of the entire curriculum. All right, so we're going through here. Is this something that my students might enjoy? Right, so all the different genres of popular music in the United States. And then all the different units and tasks. So, hey, there's a unit or lesson plan on Elvis Presley with 4 tasks for the kids to do to learn about Elvis Presley. So there's a lot of stuff in here. And this is just the popular music class. So if I scroll down, you can see a bunch of different things, but this is all in preview. So you can't actually, the one negative is that you can't preview the lesson plans in here. You decide, am I going to use this course or not? Well, I am going to use this course. So I'm going to say actually, before I do that, I'm going to look at what the other courses are just so you see it. So what courses are available. So intro to pop music, intro to jazz. Musical styles course is a combination of music from around the world, so various musics in different cultures, as well as Western, quote unquote music history, if you will. So this is a huge course, musical styles. So you've got Western music history and then music of the world. Then there's middle school music technology, high school music technology. So you've got 5 courses to choose from. And just to show you, I'll do a high school music technology course. These are created by a great music teacher named Matt Warren up near Rochester, New York. And he's got a whole bunch of projects that your students can do. I love this one, children's book recording. The students pick a children's book and narrate it and add music. It's a really great project. Anyway, so once you find a course that you like, go back here, and I'm going to say this popular music course is the one that I like. I'm going to click Use Course Now. This is very, very important to note. Right now, you've been given a course, right? This is going to be a brand new course. Unfortunately, there's no way to bring this course into the class that we created for you. The system simply doesn't do it. So I'm going to call this course Introduction to Popular Music. I'm going to click Create Class. Now that I've done that, I have a brand new class ready to go. However, I don't have any students in it. So if I go to the student management and click students, there are 0 students in here. So what the easiest thing to do is add an existing student, and start typing in some of the usernames that you have for your kids. So I know that there's a kid named Jim Frankel in this class. I click Add to Class. I can keep choosing different usernames and add it. So I'm clicking Add to Class. And now I have one student named Jim Frankel in my Introduction to Popular Music class. Well, so far so good. I've got a class, I've got a kid, now what? I go to the Class Overview tab. The Class Overview tab, you think back to your college days, is a syllabus. So it's a syllabus. Here's a course description. I can click on that. Anything that's grayed out means the kids can't see this. So this is a course description showing me exactly what this class is all about. Well, I kind of know about it, so I'm going to go to Class Overview. And I'm going to look at this Elvis Presley lesson. All right, so now I can preview everything. So here, there are 3 tabs. Teacher View. This is where your objectives, your standards, what materials are available for the students, and the procedure. Student View. This is literally what will be on the screen for the kids. Now, due to copyright law, there's not a lot of images that we can put in here without paying a tremendous amount of royalties. So you can go in and edit the lesson and add anything you want to here. So let me make that very clear. You can add anything. So if you've got audio files, videos, anything you want. So if I go to YouTube, just to show you, and I'm going to pick up an Elvis Presley clip. Again, due to copyright law and the fact that we are a company, not a teacher, we are restricted about what we can give you. But here we go, Suspicious Minds in Las Vegas. I'm going to copy that YouTube video, right? And I'm going to put it right here. Let's do here. Watch this video. And then I'm going to use, right in here in this editor, there's an Embed Media button right here. Embed Media. I click on that. I paste that YouTube video of Suspicious Minds from Las Vegas and click OK. All right. Hold on 1 second, everyone. You might be able to hear my dogs. All right. So I now have put that YouTube video directly in. Again, you can edit any of the content that we give you. Now that I've put that YouTube video in, I'm going to save my work just to make sure that it's there. Okay. Now I have a new look to my lesson plan. Now let me scroll down and look at what activities the students are going to do. So we made a Spotify playlist of a whole bunch of different Elvis tracks. There is a listen activity, so have them listen, just listen, and then write the following for each song. So there's an activity for them to listen. And this is a great activity for this type of environment that we're in. You know, asking your kids to write their own Elvis song is insane, but asking them to listen and write a little bit about it is a great assignment to get you started. Here's one, a karaoke recording task. The students can find some lyrics. They can practice the lyrics. And then if you want, let me make this clear, if you want to find an MP3 of Elvis Presley, you can embed that here in this task. We can't for copyright reasons, all right? I hope that makes sense, but you can do it, no problem, all right? So we've got this lesson. We've got, let me show you how to schedule it. Let me show you how to get kids up and running. I'm gonna go to the class calendar. I want my Elvis Presley lesson for the students. So here's the class calendar. Today's Thursday, March 19th, and look at that. There's the Elvis Presley lesson. I click and drag it to the 19th. Let go. Now you'll see here that Elvis Presley is bold, but all the other stuff is grayed out. That means that it's not visible to the students. So what I'm going to do is say, hey, you know what? I want you to listen to Elvis Presley, and I want you to hand that in next Wednesday, and I let go. But you might see that it's still not bold, okay? That means, again, you're just planning. The students don't have that assignment yet. If you want them to have the assignment, just click on it, okay? And that listen assignment, when is it due, right? It's now visible. You can see here it's due March 25th, assigned to all. Right? Now watch, that is very simple. I'm going to go to a student account now. This is my Jim Frankel account. Oops, I forgot about that. Let's do that again. Let me go back quickly. If this happens to you, I got to just make sure I know that student's login. There it is. All right. I'm putting their username and their password. So when I log in as a student, I am in two classes, Introduction to Popular Music, Training class, right? You'll see here that little number 4 says there are 4 assignments waiting for me to do. Uh-oh. I click on Intro to Pop Music, and this is exactly what the kids will see. Elvis Presley. They click on it. And it says, oh, there's the video. I can watch it. Fabulous. Great. Love Elvis. I go to the bottom here. Ooh, I can listen to some music. Great. There's a listening activity for me to do. So it says, write the following. Song title, overall beat, overall tempo. So I'm going to go in here. So once I've done that, I can type my response here. Can't help falling in love with you. Ooh, can't help. There we go. Overall beat, slow beat. Overall tempo, slow tempo. Overall dynamics, medium, loud, MF. Discuss the instrumentation, rock band with strings, and describe at least 2 characteristics that make the song unique. Elvis's costume and all those rhinestones. All right. Obviously, I'm trying to bring a little levity. So when I'm done with that, I just click Submit Response. So I've done that assignment. Now karaoke recording, right? This one hasn't been set up by the teacher yet. I didn't upload an MP3, but just so you know, you can upload an MP3 to the recorder, and the students can record along to it. So my teacher didn't do that because they did a terrible job showing how to do that. So I'm gonna click, I can't help falling in love with you. That was beautiful. I can't help falling in. That's awesome. I'm gonna click Submit. I think that's the best I can possibly do. The $1 Million Quartet. So the kids read through this, and then after searching or researching, they can go in and talk about the questions that I've asked here. And then find out. So you see there's a ton of activities available to the students. Now what I'm going to show you is, if you don't want to do all the activities with the kids, here's how to get rid of some of them. So if I go into that Elvis Presley lesson and say I just want them to do that first question, I don't want them to do all the other stuff, I can edit the lesson. Editing the lesson is how you get rid of anything you don't want that we've given you. So let me show you that. When I go to the student view, do you see here there are all these tasks? The listen one, karaoke, $1 Million, and Lilo. I don't want my kids doing this Lilo and Stitch. I don't even understand it. So I'm going to click delete. Karaoke recording, yeah, I can't find a karaoke track. I'm going to delete that. So I've got 2 writing assignments for the kids. You see how easy that was? I just got rid of 2 of the tasks. I go to the bottom. I click update lesson. I come back to see what that looks like as a student. I go to my Intro to Pop Music. And now I only have 2 tasks to do as a student. I've already done one of them. Now I have the $1 Million Quartet. So hopefully that makes sense. You have ultimate control. We give you tons and tons of free content, and you have control over what to do with it, and what not to do with it, and what to use and what not to use. So let me go back here as a teacher, and let me open up the chat window and see if there are questions. I'll pause here for a minute. So to M. Schneider, it's extremely easy to give a student a task to record themselves in any lesson. I'll show that in a minute when I create my own content. I'm not going to just do general music. Okay, Mike, thank you so much for being on board. I appreciate it. So let me go back in here. So let's say to M. Schneider's question, hey, let's say I wanted to add a recording task to this lesson plan. I came up with a great idea. I want them to do their best Elvis impression. All right, watch this. I click Edit Lesson. Again, something a little fun for the kids. And when I go here to the student view, you see this little plus button? I can add a task right there. So if I click on that, I can make a task just for this lesson plan and say, record yourself doing your best Elvis impression. Okay, again, a silly assignment, but might be just what the doctor ordered in these crazy times. So I'm going to do record audio. After listening to all of these Elvis tracks, do your very best impression of him. Record it and submit it. Have fun. Okay, when is this going to be due? It'll be due next Friday. Do I want to add this to the grade book and give them a grade? Sure. I'll give them 10 points on this one. Do I want to add a grading rubric? Well, at the moment, I don't have time, but you can easily put in all the different criteria of how you're going to get to that 10-point grade. But for now, again, I'm not making it, and I'm going to click Create and Insert. So what you'll see is now that I have a record yourself doing your best Elvis impression now in my task list. So I added a task to some pre-made content. So to M. Schneider, who asked the question, I hope that is very easy. I just selected, named the task, I chose the task type, typed in a couple of instructions, and we're good to go. So here's what it looks like as a student when I come back in here. Oh, I've now got 3 tasks. Uh-oh, do your very best Elvis impression. I apologize in advance. Well, 1 for the money, 2 for the show. Sorry, folks. There we go. Well, 1 for the... Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to click Submit. I think the teacher will love that. I go back in as a teacher just to show you how all of this craziness works, right? Let me go to my main dashboard. The main dashboard is where you'll see anything that you have to grade. So I see that Jim Frankel submitted something. Let me click on that. He's a rock star student, so this probably is going to be really good. I'll click it. The audio recording is embedded right there. I play it. Well, 1 for the money. Ooh, that's awesome. I'm going to say a 10 out of 10. Might even give them a comment. You should be a professional Elvis impersonator. Add comment. Right, so you get the idea, hopefully. Let me show you some, because the question was asked, I'm going to go to the content library, and I'm going to go to the orchestra bucket. I've kind of not done that many orchestra things. So let me explain this. In the orchestra bucket, you see where it says Getting Started with Music First for Orchestra? Rather than doing a course yet, I just want to show you what this does. I click Getting Started with Music First for Orchestra. If it doesn't have this binder, let me just show you. If the material doesn't have this binder on it, then you can use this material in any class, right? So if you had a class created for you by our MusicFirst staff, this is a perfect opportunity. Look at this. These are all what we call onboarding assignments. That means this is the very first thing that kids should do when they very first assignment. So I'll click Getting Started with MusicFirst Student. What is this? Communicating with your teacher, writing and responding, recording a little audio. So it's 3 tasks for the kids to do. Really simple, right? So I'm going to say, you know what? I want to use this unit now. It'll ask you, well, which class do you want to use it with? So whatever class you were provided is the class you can type in. So training class is the one that the MusicFirst staff provided for me. And I'm going to click Create Unit. So what I've done is I've copied onboarding materials from the orchestra content library into the class that was already created for me. Right? I look through it. Is this stuff that I really want to do with my kids? Ooh, I have all this software. That's pretty cool. Yeah, sure. Let's go to the class calendar. Right? And ooh, there's nothing for my students to do today. I'll click there and let go. Write my favorite kind of music. That'll be due next Wednesday. And record your name. That'll also be due next Wednesday. Right? So go in as a teacher, as a student, excuse me. I'm going to go to my training class. Uh-oh, I got more stuff to do here. Getting started with MusicFirst for students. Now, this stuff I did in the previous trainings, but it's good to know that that's how easy it is. It goes right to the top. I click on it. I read through it. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Teacher's giving me a lot of stuff to read here. Blah, blah, blah. What is my favorite kind of music? My favorite kind of music is any kind of music. Get it? Let's try to make my teacher happy. Submit response. Lots of music. Record your name. Okay. James. That's awesome. Submit. And I'm done. So to look a little deeper into that orchestra library, lest you think that's the only thing you can do, if I go into the MusicFirst library, click on the orchestra tab, and let me see. Ooh, there's a critique of the Overture from Candide by Leonard Bernstein. That's pretty cool. String fingering charts. Ooh, this is a good one. Middle school, high school orchestra generic tasks. Oh, you're gonna love this one. So and by the way, we have this same generic task for band and chorus. So I'm using this unit now, and I'll explain why. Generic tasks are the tasks that you can use over and over, very simple tasks. I'll show you how it works. I'm using my training class. There it is. I'm gonna copy this stuff into the class that MusicFirst created for me. There I am. Let me just show you a weekly recording assignment. In my opinion, this is an absolutely perfect assignment for you to do with your kids once a week. Once a week, have them submit a recording of themselves playing something, right? So watch this. If you want to use this weekly recording assignment, you go over here and make it a favorite. Make it a favorite. That favorite means you can reuse this every single week. You can use it over and over and over. So let me show you. If I go to my class, once I've hit make favorite, I go to my class calendar. I go to my favorites folder. I happen to have a ton of favorites because I show a lot of software, but there's at the very bottom is my weekly recording assignment. And I'm going to say every Monday I want them to submit a weekly recording assignment. I'm going to show you how easy this is. I just dragged it to Monday, March 23rd. It stayed there, so I can drag it again to March 30th, right? Now I'm going to go to April. And we're going to only do the amount of time that we're going to be out of school. So I'm going to do very wishful thinking and say that we'll be back in school. The last one will be April 13th. By that point, we'll be back in school. Now, important to note, when you drag tasks like this in, if they're grayed out, the students can't see them. Okay? So if I click on that, I have to make it visible. The reason is on a favorite assignment, because you can drag it multiple times, it could get the students really, really confused which one you want them to do. So this is a weekly recording assignment for the kids. What I would suggest you do is tell them, all right, for this week's, let's say you're doing a once a week type video and you're saying it. Say to the kids, for this week, we're going to be working on Great Locomotive Chase, or excuse me, for orchestra, we're going to be working on our Spring from the Four Seasons. I'd like you to record measures 41 through 57, right? So the kid, this is what it looks like for that student. If I go back in here to my training class, I now have a weekly recording assignment. Because I watched the video, I know that my teacher wants me to do that specific part. Bum 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 ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum bum bum ba-da-dum. Great, I'm submitting that. It's fabulous. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Let me go back to my class overview and the training to show you where that material, there's my weekly recording assignments. There's some other stuff here. Okay, so for generic tasks, if I click that, these are the other things that we put in there. Oh, that's just a lesson, excuse me. Let me go back. What are the other, oh, a weekly performance assignment. This is cool. This is a practice first assignment. So again, I'm not gonna show the software, I'm just gonna show you one thing. What you can do, by the way, we had this question asked many, many times. In Practice First, you can upload any music XML file. You can upload any MuseScore file. So you can obviously create your own materials. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to click Open in Practice First. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet. Hold on. First thing I need to do is schedule this. Before you do anything else, we're going to schedule this one. I'm going to make it a favorite. All right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it a favorite. Make it a favorite. Then I'm going to click Open in Practice First. This is before I schedule it, because I'm going to do the same thing every time. And I'm going to click Create Generic Assignment. When I click Create Generic Assignment, that affords me the opportunity to not have to go in every single week and point to a specific piece of content. But instead, this will now work every time when a kid clicks on that. It'll open up Practice First for them, and then they'll go and find the piece that you want them to perform. Again, Practice First works for chorus, band, and orchestra, right? So let me show you what that looks like. I need to now schedule this, right? So I'm going to go to my class calendar, and I put it in my favorites folder. So I go down here. There it is, weekly performance assignment. I'm going to drag that here. I'm going to make sure that I click on that little gearbox and make it visible so the kids can see it. Hold on. Okay, good. Here's what it looks like as a student. Come back into my training class. I now have a weekly performance assignment. Click on it. Open in Practice First. And it basically says, choose the piece you want to play. All right, so I'm going to say, well, I'm a violin player. All right, here's some good stuff for you. Let's play Frere Jacques. I'm going to choose that I want to do the student part. Let me hear what it sounds like. All right, here we go. Give me 2 bars. Bum, 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 bum. That sounded just like Frere Jacques. I don't know about you. I'm going to click Submit to Teacher. Great, I sang a 4th instead of a 5th. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I'm done. I'm embarrassed that I did that in front of 71 fellow music educators. Great. So class overview again. You see that you know, I'm starting to get a little crowded. I brought in a bunch of stuff here. Let's say, hey, you know what? I don't want this thing here anymore, this concert critique. Just to show you, if you say, oh, God, I'm not going to do this with the kids, just click on it and hit delete. It won't delete forever. It'll just delete from your class. So I'm going to say delete. I'm not doing that concert critique. Let me go back to my class overview and let me look at some other things. Yeah, I'm not going to do this getting started quiz. I don't want my kids to do that. Again, click on it, hit delete. Are you sure? Yes, I am. And again, it's not deleted from the whole world, so don't worry that you're, you know, being destructive. It's just deleting it from your class. All right, I'm going to pause now for a moment, go into the chat room and see if there's any questions I can answer. I appreciate that, Marissa. Eleanor, yesterday's webinar, if you were a part of it, was a total mess. I think I was actually kicked out of Zoom twice, so those recordings did not go very well. But the first one is on our MusicFirst Facebook page, as well as our MusicFirst Teachers Facebook. You can email info@musicfirst.com if you don't have Facebook, and we'll try to get those videos to you. There might just be a little bit of a delay in getting that. Okay, good. I see that everybody's answering each other's questions, which is extraordinarily nice to see. Right, again, I'm trying to do something new every day so that people who are going through the series are actually learning something different rather than going all over the same thing every time. All right, so What I'd like to do now is show you how to create content from scratch. I showed you how to use a course, right? Copy the whole course in, bring your students in, just start dragging and dropping the assignments. That's a course. Individual content, I can bring it into the class that MusicFirst created for me, pick and choose, edit. Now I'm going to show you how to create content from scratch. So I'm going to go in here and click the create. I can either create a lesson plan, a unit, a task, or assessment. In the craziness that we're all experiencing right now, the only thing that I recommend that you do with your students is create a task. It's the easiest thing to do. It's really hard to mess up. If you do a lesson plan, that is stuff that kids will consume, and you can add multiple tasks to one lesson plan. So let's say that you're doing a unit of study on, let's say you're a choir director and you're trying to show them, you're doing a unit of study on breathing. Then you might do a lesson plan and add tasks to it. But if you're just like, hey, I just need stuff to do now. I don't know what I'm doing. We're online school. I've never done that before. Just create a series of tasks. It's the easiest thing. Again, I would love to get super in depth and show you lesson plans, but I think that the best course for all of you is to just learn how to make these tasks. So I'm going back in here. And this time, I've done this in the past with software. Now we're going to make other types of tasks. So this first task, I'm going to do something from Shed the Music, right? So there's a resources tab, which I've shown in previous. Actually, no, what I'm going to do is something from Intune Monthly. Here we go. So I went to Intune Monthly, which is a great magazine for kids. And I personally know that a lot of students between the ages of 13 and 18 love this guy, Tame Impala. Come on, load. There we go. So I can click on Tame Impala. And this is an article. It's loading a little slowly. I bet there are a lot of people. There we go. Not So Tame Impala. Ooh, that's a cool title. I'm going to just copy this URL, and I'm going to send my students to it. Watch this. So we're going to do Tame Impala. By the way, I bet your kids will freak out if you do this. Tame Impala. Write your own biography. Short, we'll put, because the kids will freak out. So what type of task? This is going to be a write task. I want them to write something. What are they going to do to hand it in? They're going to use a free-form text field. They're just going to type it directly into the box. So I'm going to say, read this article about Tame Impala. Or I'll put step 1. Okay? Read this article about Tame Impala. Paste. So I'm literally pasting that article in. Step 2. Based on what you read, write a short 100 to 200 word biography about the artist. Now, if you're a really good teacher, and I'm sure you are, you might look up Tame Impala. Not just the article there, but let's see if there's anything else. Oh, well, there's Tame Impala's website, right? Oh, this is a great website, fabulous. I don't even know what this is. All right, let me see. Is there a Wikipedia entry on this guy? Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Let me. No. Again, of course, there he is. Tame Impala, Wikipedia. Great. So I'm going to copy that link, and I'm going to tell my kids, just to help them out, this Wikipedia might be helpful. Paste. Okay? This assignment is due next Friday at 5 p.m. I hope you see how easy that is. Please don't overthink, please don't try to get the kids to do too much. For example, my 15-year-old daughter is starting online high school today. The teachers had 3 days to get their stuff together. She's starting today. And when we asked her, well, what does it look like? She said, well, of my 7 teachers, 2 have given me assignments, and the other said, just wait, it'll be here soon. And the 2 assignments that were given, one was a 10-question quiz that they had 1 week to complete. So again, please don't go crazy trying to think that these guys have to do a ton of stuff. And I promise something like a Tame Impala assignment they'll love, right? So I've done that. If I wanted to, just to show you, if you wanted to really spice things up here and get a picture of Tame Impala, I'm going to show you. So if I go to images of Tame Impala, I didn't know who this dude is, but all right, there he is. I'm just going to show you how to get a picture into the MusicFirst assignment, just to make it look a little better. So I'm on a Mac right now. I'm control clicking, and I'm going to save this image. Okay, there it is. I'm going to go back to my assignment, and I want to add the picture right at the top so the kids have something fun to look at. Well, in this same editor here, there's a picture icon. I can click it. It says, what is the URL, or do you want to upload it? Well, I want to upload it. Where is that file? Well, I just saved it. There it is. Open. Add it to my file library. Okay, that sounds good. So it's uploading that photo. It's been added. I click OK. Right? Do you see the width here is very important. That's a gigantic picture, absolutely gigantic. So let's see if we can, I'm going to lock the aspect ratio. If you're not a nerd like me, that just means that I'm going to make it, whatever I do, it won't look distorted. 400 is probably too big, so I'm going to do 300, right? And I'm going to click OK. And there is the Tame Impala image in my little lesson, my little task. So when I'm all done, I could decide whether I want to add standards or not. This question's come up multiple times. Because we're giving you a free extended demo, you have limited access to what standards are available. I think you have the national standards. So again, for now, we appreciate your patience with that. You know, just tag it to the national core art standards if you have to. Tag it to standards. By the way, if your administrators are making you do that, oh my goodness, right? I'm going to add this to the gradebook, and I'm going to make it worth 100 points. And I'm going to click Create Task. So once you've done that, I can see it right here. Good to go. Just quickly, let's say you are teaching with Google Classroom. You don't have to be to use our platform, but if you have both, you can share it in Google Classroom and choose which class you want to share it with, and click Share. And I'm not going to do that right now, but it's really simple to do. The last thing I need to do is it's not been scheduled yet. So don't, if you think it, I haven't scheduled it. So I'm going to go to that class calendar. It's the easiest way to do it, in my opinion. I'm going to find that Tame Impala assignment. There it is. And I'm going to say you're doing this today. Okay. I'm going to, anytime you see it grayed out, it means it's not visible. So I'm going to click Make Visible. Now it's visible. Good to go. Live. So I'm going to go back to my student account. Click on my training class, and ooh, Tame Impala. Ooh, it was already due. Ooh, I'm late. Oh no. So hey, read this article, then write about it. Tame Impala is some guy named Matt, I think. He makes sad sounding music that kids love. There we go. There's my beautiful biography of Tame Impala. Submit response. Again, I'm doing things lighthearted because, what else can we do at this time? But I've submitted it as a student. This is what it looks like as a teacher. Any grading that you have will always appear in this left-hand column. So there's my Tame Impala biography that Jim Frankel turned in. Amazing student. Let me see what they did. By the way, if you look here, if you want to see quickly, well, let me just see the students who've turned it in. Always click on task status. It sorts the students into who has turned it in. So Jim Frankel turned this in late. Oh boy. Tame Impala is some guy named Matt. Well, that's terrible. I don't know why it gave me a grade of 0. That's interesting. So let me do that. It gave me a grade of, it said that this was out of 0 points. So let me go back here. I think that I may have messed up down here. Let me see. Yep, I did. I said it was only worth 0 points. I thought it was 100. Update task. Very good. Now I'm going to go back here to this, and I'll click on that task status again. And now it says it's out of 100. Good. I'm going to give them a 70, and I might give them some comments. If it was that bad, if it was so bad, I can click clear submission, and it will be reassigned to that student. All right, so I'm going to do that because this was terrible. Are you sure? Yes, I am. What happens if I'm a student? Come back in here to my training class. Uh-oh, it's back. It doesn't say submitted. I have to resubmit. Oh, gosh. He was born in the United States. Is that good enough? All right, and submit response. So the kids can redo an assignment. By the way, that redo does not work with every single software type. It only, I'm just showing you right now in this specific instance. All right, I'm going to pause and see if there are questions. So I'm opening up the chat box. So to not mention, okay, great. Hopefully you're, please, if you're saying that our site is crashing, please let us know. We haven't had any reports of it so far, so hopefully. Yeah, I see all this being patient. Just so you know, our staff is on high alert, and they're working round the clock, and we literally have thousands and thousands of classes that we're setting up. We will get through it. We've temporarily stopped people being able to sign up so that our support team has some air to try to get through. So we're hoping that by Monday, everybody that's signed up will have their credentials. So please be patient. It's not our fault. We never expected anything like this. Can I only add students one at a time to a new course? Jen, I would ask you to watch the Tuesday webinar that's on our Facebook page. It goes exactly over how to do that. And to Mariana, as soon as you receive your credentials, you'll be able to sign in. If you haven't already, you just have to wait to get those. All right, I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to make some more content. I'll do one more thing. I think that's probably enough for today. I'm going to make a task. Right, and this time what I'm going to do is make a discussion question. Right. What type of task? Well, that should be obvious. It's a discussion. And answer this question. The description is for the title. The discussion basics is what the kids will see, right? So I'm going to actually put in that video. Let's see. Ooh, I embedded a Wikipedia entry. How easy was that? That embed media is great. Any URL that you copy will be embedded. That's kind of neat. Okay. Tame Impala is very popular right now with the kiddos. Write your opinion about his music. Be sure to title your post with your last name. Okay. When is this discussion going to be available? Well, it's going to be available from today. Actually, let's do it from yesterday because the default is always midnight. And it's going to be available through next Friday. When is it due? It's due next Friday. Is it assigned to all in class? Yes. Will I tag it to the standards? Why not? This is going to be a respond. And I'm going to add it to the gradebook and make it worth 10 points. Click Create Task. Right, so I have a discussion question. Really simple to do. Let's see what that looks like as a kid. I come in, discussion question. Great. More assignments from my teacher. Answer this question. So they have to open it in discussion, which is a different section of our site. Tame Impala is very popular right now. Write your opinion about his music. So I've given them all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to put Frankel. Tame Impala is the bomb, y'all. Great. Post. Right? Now, students can go to this discussion tab here, and they'll see that discussion question. They can click on it. They can see each other's answers here. They can comment on it. So if the kids want to reply to each other, it's really, what do you mean the bomb? Signed, older Gen X dude. All right, post. Hopefully that makes sense. Discussion questions are great. Let me also make this very, very clear that, again, you're looking for stuff to do right now, quick. Discussion questions are awesome for that type of thing because the kids have, they'll be online, they'll be typing. Make sure they use proper, they're not mean to each other. Any kind of internet acceptable use policy they've signed should govern that. So you could also do things like, hey, what kind of field trip would you like to go on? Hey, what do you miss most about music class? Hey, anything you want, just to get kids engaged and typing. So again, I'm making content, I'm making a task. All right, I'm going to pause for questions and then I may wrap things up. Yes, there are different, let me just quickly go over to the MusicFirst Content Library and show you the music theory bucket. There are lots and lots of assessments in here. There are courses. This course was made by an amazing teacher named Marjorie Lopresti. It has videos in it. It's really, really, really good. So it's kind of middle school, high school, but if that's too much for you, go back to the music theory, look up grade level middle school, and these are key signature quizzes. There's 6 self-grading quizzes. So you can just go in here. Oh, I got a quiz on the flats. Let me see what I can do here. I'll preview the quiz. What is the name? Oh, well, this is perfect for my orchestra class. Awesome. Great. Thanks, MusicFirst. I click Use Unit Now. I'm going to bring all of these quizzes to my class. So I can just type in the class that I'm teaching. There it is, the one that we gave you. Click Create Unit. Also, please know, and I showed this at yesterday's webinar, you can have your students do musictheory.net assignments, and you can have your students do Aurelia and musician assignments. And believe it or not, in Noteflight, there are music theory worksheets. Lots of stuff you can do, right? So I now have a whole bunch of quizzes ready to go for my students. I can click on each one, right? And I can schedule it. Let me just show you this. You can schedule it right here rather than going to your calendar. You can say, hey, I want my students to start taking this. Oh boy, let's start, yesterday, and they'll get until Friday at midnight to do, save changes. Okay, so I've scheduled it now. Come on, you can do it. And now I just need to make it visible. All right, so let me just show you what a kid sees there. Again, this is a music theory assignment, key signature flats. I go in, I start the assessment. So I'm taking a quiz. I didn't have to make this myself. Hooray. Excuse me, A flat major, F major. Oh boy, in G flat. It took me a second. C major, E flat major. Oh boy, C flat, D flat major, C flat major, E flat major, D flat major, F major, E flat. I think I got that right. By the way, the kids can save their work. If they don't know, they can click save and it'll save their place so they can come back to it. But I'm clicking finish and submit because I am really good at key signatures. Okay, that was pretty easy. I come back here, I go to my main class dashboard, and look at that. There is no quiz to grade. So the last thing I want to show you today, which I've showed at every webinar, is how do you see all the kids' stuff? The easiest thing to do is go to Gradebook, right? And you'll see here that in a couple of these things, it says grade hidden, right? If you want to get that grade hidden gone, all you do is click on the assignment and click show grade, show grade. Pretty easy to do. Let me just make sure if there are other things. Did I do all this stuff? No. Let me go down here. I think I've done a lot. of assignments with these kids, these poor kids. There we go. So here is the stuff I did today. Show their grade, right? Show grade. I think that's all I needed. Yeah. So if you want to see how your kids did, oh, I got to hit back, sorry. The easiest way to do it is to search for your student. In this case, my student I know is all the way down here. Click on the student's name, Jim Frankel. This student of mine is amazing. If you click on the student's name, that's all the work that they've done for you. It's a portfolio of all their work. It's pretty cool, right? So if I go, let me see what they did on that key signature quiz, which was auto-graded for me. I didn't have to do it. Click on it. I can get directly to the quiz. And if I want to see how the kid did, like that kid's exact assignment, I click on the submission. There it is. And I can override any grades that were given. Right, so I'm going to stop sharing, and I will check the chat window one more time. If you have something like Essential Elements, and how can you use it to assign something from it, the short answer is you have to create those, recreate those exercises in something like MuseScore, Sibelius, or Finale, or NoteFlight. Upload them one at a time to MusicFirst. The portfolios are not exportable. A lot of their individual work is downloadable. And all right. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We're doing one more webinar tomorrow, which I think that the schedule's been posted somewhere. I don't know where it is, but we're doing one tomorrow, and then we're planning on doing a whole other set of webinars next week, and those will be more open forums. And from an open forum, I mean that, you know, we'll try to answer individual questions that you're having. I urge you, let me just share my screen one more time. Our support team is completely overwhelmed at the moment, and I'm sure you can understand why. Please, before you ask the support team questions, please, 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 in your platform, click on the question mark. Look in the user guide, look in the tutorials, everything I've shown you today, every single thing. If I search for content, right in here, there it is. How to save, assign shared content, how to go into the file library, how to use shared content, how to use premium content. So please go and look at these before you email us, because we're just simply overwhelmed and you'll get frustrated. It's so much faster for you to do that. All right. Thank you all very much. Have a fabulous day. I hope you're all, you know, holding up as well as you can be. And I hope that your administrators and the parents are appreciative of your collective efforts trying to keep music education going during this time of total insanity. Stay safe and healthy, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.